Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace, and today is Monday, October 18th. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I love to do all day, every day. If you'd like to follow me on any of my social medias, I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram, so please go follow me over on there if you'd like to see what I get up to during the week. I also have become quite the fan, or I have a habit now of sharing cute cartoons and cute things that I find on Instagram in my stories. So if you are interested in also seeing cute things that make you smile, you can go follow me over on my Instagram. There's also show notes, links to things that I will be talking about. Hopefully I won't forget any. If I do, please send me a message, or just send me a message in general if you want to say hello. I would love that. We're still dealing with the mattress situation, which is why we're sitting the way that we are, but it's okay, you know. I added a little sheep for some background decoration. Fun fact, I got that sheep at a Buc-ee's, I think the first year that Sam and I were married, on one of our many drives home from Houston to Dallas, because when we were living in Dallas, both of our families lived in Houston, and so we would visit them and always stop at Buc-ee's at various places, obviously before coronavirus was even remotely a thing. And yeah, so I got that little sheep at a Buc-ee's. It's technically in like the children's baby area, but it was just so cute and so soft that I couldn't resist it, and Sam was very sweet and was like, you need the sheep. So I have the sheep, and it's now a decoration in the background of my podcast. So yes, I have actually quite a lot to show you today. This is very exciting. We have mystery knit along stuff, we have test knitting stuff, old and new, and we have a new cast on knit along with my mom and my sister, another one of those. So let's begin talking about all of that. Also, the sheep kind of matches the sheep on my mug. Ta-da! It's all perfect. I'm wearing one of my favorite shawls that I've knit, my powder and dust. There's rain coming, it keeps thundering, it's wonderful, though it may be very hot and humid. This is all in the intro. I do apologize. Let us move on. If you'd like to grab something tasty to drink, something to snack upon, something to craft upon, an animal to snuggle, or laundry to fold, everyone, I am on top of my to-do list today. This is still in the intro, but all my laundry is folded. It's literally on the bed. It needs to be put away, but it is folded, so that's a personal win in my book. I have a latte that I made, salted caramel mocha latte. So good. Anyway, all of those things, you could be working out, you could be doing none of those things, you could be making dinner. I don't know, you could be baking. I don't know what you could be doing, but you can do whatever you want to. You can come back and join me for some chat to chat. Also, I forgot to mention, we have a giveaway drawing today, everyone. So exciting. So, thank you so much, first off, to Jen for donating this pack of stitch markers to give away as a prize. There is this pack, or a pack of beaded stitch markers on the other side of this little cardboard piece. Here is her business card and her name. Please go follow her on Instagram if you do not already. She has wonderful, wonderful stitch markers and progress keepers. They are truly wonderful. And so I had the very wonderful delight of getting to share these with you guys. The prompt was to follow, subscribe, all that jazz, and also share fall activities. And I have a very lucky winner. So Drum roll, please. I remember last time in editing I had the hardest time finding a drum roll sound effect, so I don't know if I'm actually going to use a drum roll sound effect, but I will use something that is exciting. So it may not be a drum roll, so don't come after me that it's not a drum roll. But drum roll, the winner is Gina Thompson, and she wrote, bonfires are one of my favorite activities, also baking pumpkin pie. Congratulations, Gina. You have won this little set of stitch markers. If you would message me your mailing address, and I will get this into the mail to you as soon as possible. And if you don't reply in the next 2 weeks, I will pick a new winner. But that should be plenty of time. So congratulations. Super exciting. You've got some fun stitch markers coming your way. And yes, I love the smell of bonfires. Like, that's probably up there with one of my favorite smells. I don't smell it very often, but when I do, I really enjoy it. Excuse me. And of course, baking pumpkin pie is always a fun thing to do because of the holidays that it's associated with and the time of year. Fun fact about myself, while we're speaking about pumpkin pie, I personally do not like the texture of pumpkin pie. So I very rarely have pumpkin pie, but everyone. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about how we were excited for Thanksgiving, and I asked her what her favorite Thanksgiving desserts were. And her response was like mind-blowingly awesome, which is a small piece of pecan, which is my favorite and also her favorite, and then a small piece of pumpkin, because then you get the really beautiful cinnamony creaminess of the pumpkin, but also you can kind of have the crunchy, salty, sweet, like overly sweet of the pecan. So the pumpkin is a little bit toned down, maybe even a little bit more spicy, and then combined, so they're together and she just takes a bite. This symbolizes a fork going in through both of them. And she eats them together, and I was like, wow, I had never thought of that before. Like, I have totally thought about having a slice of each, or two slices of whatever pie, 2 different types of pie, but eating them together, it's just like, poof. So I'll be trying that, and hopefully this will rekindle a love of pumpkin pie, because I remember liking it at some point in my life, but just when I realized that I wasn't a fan of the texture, just like, okay. I love pecan though. Pecan's probably like my favorite pie of all time. Fun fact. So, yes. Gina, send me your address, please, and I will send you your stitch markers. And now you know about my feelings about pumpkin pie. And I'm glad that you love baking them, and I'm glad that you love bonfires. They are wonderful. So that is the giveaway. And this is all very fun. Thank you so much to everybody for entering. And yeah. Okay, everyone. So where do we go to next? Probably the finished object that I have, everyone. It's done. This is a test knit for Rachel of September Knits. This is the Mayberry sweater. This is a top-down yoked. If you're looking at the back, I do apologize. It looks like the same on the front, but there's just no short rows on the front. This is a yoked colorwork sweater. This is her very first colorwork sweater, which is very exciting. I use the Chana doll. Someone commented and said something about that makes her think of a China doll, which I think is very funny, and now I will always think of the same thing, so thank you very much for that. And that's the main color, this Barocco Vintage DK, and then my colorwork part is Malabrigo Rios in the glitter colorway, and then I've also added the hedgehog boucle, and there's the color work on the sleeves. What's very fun is that she basically says you have 3 different color work charts, and you get to pick from all 3 of them to do them on the sleeves, to either do them the same or do them differently. So I chose to do them differently. I have this one is pointing down. You can see, oh, let's move that out of the way. Those are pointing downwards, and these are pointing upwards, or towards the cuff, and these are pointing up towards the sleeve. So I just thought that would be fun, a little bit different. I don't know if it's like actually noticeable. Yeah, I think it's kind of noticeable. But yes, so that's very exciting. This pattern will be coming out soon. I need to block this. Blocking this and taking pictures of this was on my to-do list for tomorrow. Maybe today, since all the laundry is folded, so we can shift things around and we can get more done today. I had so much fun knitting this. I mean, if you're new to the podcast, I love a good colorwork yoked sweater. I have knit many of them. So many of them. In fact, it may be the thing I have knit most of. I love them that much. And yeah, I just really, really love knitting color work, especially on sweaters. It makes me so happy. Excuse me. And I also really love this yarn. I know I could go on and on and on and on and on and on about Barocco Vintage DK and how it wears well, and the stitch definition is amazing, and it's up so well. It's so soft. It's a good price point. So many colors. But I've already said that a bazillion times, and I've just said the same thing. So I will not repeat myself again. But I know that you know that I know that to be true. So yes, this is the Mayberry sweater by Rachel of September Knits. This was a test knit, which is really crazy because I technically got this test knit back in like July or August. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about Rachel's test knits is that the deadlines are usually very, very far in advance, and so there's like not a lot of pressure to work on them, which I really appreciate. I mean, not all of them are that way because deadlines and wanting to get stuff published and all that jazz, which is totally understandable, but I really appreciated having the very long time period to knit this sweater just because it helped me relax about it a little bit, and I really got to enjoy it. So yes. Oh, also let's be aware, these sleeves, I think I had knit maybe like, ooh, how am I gonna show this to you? Okay, so I think I had knit like that much on last Monday. So after recording, I think, and maybe that had been all that I had knit already and I showed it to you last week. Maybe. I don't actually remember. But then had a Zoom meeting and I got all of that done. Like literally finished the sleeve. Color work included, obviously. The next day had another Zoom meeting. Almost finished the entire sleeve. I think I was like halfway through the cuff when the meeting ended. I was so proud of myself. Also, it makes it sound like these were very, very long Zoom meetings. They weren't they weren't short, but they weren't like hours upon hours. It's just that the second sleeve always goes faster, as we all know and love that wonderful fact of life. And also it's just around and around and around. We've got decreases, color work, knitted on a size 8. Like, can't go wrong. I love that. I know that that probably makes me knit tighter because I'm going faster, but I love when I can knit fast. I love the feeling of basically speed knitting. If there's a long span of stitches where I'm just going to town and I can just do it as fast as I can, I love that. I don't know why I love that, but I do. It kind of gives me a little, not an adrenaline rush necessarily, but it definitely gives me a little knitter's high, and it's just like, oh yeah, I'm so good. I can knit so fast. Is there anybody else who feels this way? Or am I just by myself in this? Which is fine if it is. I will wear that speed knitting badge proudly, and the fact that I love that. But surely there are other people, you know? I think it's time for some salted caramel mocha latte. It's a lot of words. That's very good. The amounts of words does not determine the goodness of the coffee. I did finish my pumpkin spice latte creamer from Starbucks, which is kind of a sad day, but also I think I had definitely had my fill of it. And I was ready to move on to new flavors. And I don't know if this is a seasonal flavor. It was with the seasonal items of creamers and stuff at the H-E-B, or one of our grocery stores here. And so I decided to go with it, you know. And here I am today, and it is very good. I would highly recommend. That caramel flavor is just really good. Anyway, so moving along. This is not a coffee podcast, though. I do love coffee and coffee shops. Let's do the next test knit. Okay, everyone, I am so proud of this. Can we just have a moment? I'm proud. Very proud. Get a little hair flip. Both sides at the same time. So last week I showed this to you. I didn't even have anything to show you because I had not even cast it on yet. And everyone, here we go. This is so much knitting. This is a test knit for Isabel Kramer. This is the Forager sweater. And I believe that's the back. Doesn't look like much, but it does go over my head like so. This is a good look for sure. I have my Little Bitty Delights maple or pumpkin spice donut. I really like this look. This is definitely a keeper. Wearing as much knitwear as possible, even though it's very warm outside. This is a top-down sweater. I meant to look up what this sleeve construction is called, and I did not. But it's where there's this, what am I trying to say? So if you were looking at it, excuse me, this way. So this is like the top of the shoulder, and then as you can see, I'm increasing for my sleeve in here. So you can see, this is backwards, which is confusing. You can see my increases there, and then on the other side as well. But this part up here is just straight, which several of Isabel sweaters are like this. I believe the All Do sweater that I knit of hers is like this as well, and some others, but I don't remember what this is called. I know there's a technical term for it, but I've forgotten it, and I do apologize, but do know that there is a technical term. So we do have mock cables everywhere. Do not be afraid of cabling if you are not a cabler, don't like cables, whatever. These are not cables. These are mock cables, which just basically involves slipping stitches and yarning over and slipping stitches. And then you could get a beautiful stitch that looks like a cable. but it is not, you know? Can we even with this yarn? This yarn is just like so beautiful. The stitches, the stitch definition is incredible. I love it. And I'm still working on my first ball of yarn. I am using Ulysses, you know, by Dererum Natura. Another thing I didn't look up that I need to look up on how to actually say it correctly. This is the Rose Quartz colorway, so it's a very, very light pink. I also really love, I didn't realize how, I wouldn't call it variegated by any means. I don't know how well that's going to show up on camera, but there's definitely like dark bits of like heathering to the yarn. So it's not completely just like a flat pink or even a tonal pink. It's like got gray. Ooh, did you hear that thunder? That's thunder. That's happy. And all the laundry is folded, so I may get some knitting time in before dinner. I'm so excited. It's the little wins in life, you know. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of got like a gray halo to it, and I love it so much. So yes, this has been, that is not thunder, that is a car. It's a very loud car. This has been really wonderful. I have very much enjoyed knitting this. So we have mock cables in the middle of the front, in the middle of the back, and then on the two sleeves. And we might have them underneath on the sides, on the side seam as well, once I divide for the sleeves. I'm not 100% certain. But I will say, and this, I find this to be true of a lot of Isabel Kramer's patterns. They are very well written, but when you get a pattern started, you kind of have, in my opinion, this is my experience, so this may not be true for everybody, but when you start a sweater, you kind of have to sit down and you're like, okay, I'm gonna be here for the next, I will not move until I get this certain portion done, because if I stop in the middle of a row, I'm lost. I will not be able to find my way if I stop now. So there were some parts of that in this sweater, which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing by any means. It's just a fact of like knowing that there is a lot to watch. There are a lot of like different markers. There's a lot of places of different increases that are for different things. And then the mock cables. And so it's just, it's important. It's a way of designing a beautiful sweater, and it's not like a bad thing. And it's also kind of fun. Like, I enjoy keeping track of all these things. I got to use, oh, this is also very fun. So in the little stitch marker sets that Jen sent me, they all came with their like coordinating stitch markers. So I was able to pull out like 3 different sets of different colors, because I needed to, I don't know if these are silver, I have a gold one here, so I have silver with my purple beads, which came with my gummy bear. For my mock cables, I have I think that one came, what did that come with? Excuse me. But yeah, I'm using these for sleeve increases at the beginning as well. We have back increases, and so I use some red and gold ones. So, and yeah, the pizza set. So it was nice to have all the different colors to kind of help me keep track of everything. There's definitely a lot to just not be overwhelmed by. But once I got it going and once I knew what I was doing, and especially once I got to like the sleeve increases and I wasn't just doing this back and forth part and I was actually increasing for the sleeve, it was like, oh, I got this, no big deal. I know when to do my mock cable row. I know that I need to do an increase here. And I know I've said this before and I will continue to say it again. There's something so satisfying about these like lines of increases that are just so beautifully perfect. Oops, sorry. I just knocked the tripod. I do apologize. It's just so beautifully satisfying, and I know I'm the one who's doing the knitting, but I don't know. I'm very proud of my work here. I've done a very good job. Also, the yarn is beautiful. Also, the pattern is beautiful. It's very well written. And yes, so this is a test knit. This is due in November. Is that possible? No, yes, it's November, but it's not for a while. Because goodness gracious, that was a scary moment. It's like, oh no. I've not even divided for the sleeves and it's due in like a week. That's not the case. I just forgot. So yes, this is one of the projects that's in rotation. This is kind of like what I'm working on when I'm not working on my mystery knit along currently, because this has a deadline that is important, and the other has a deadline that I'm very excited about, or I want to try and keep on top of. Otherwise I will kind of flounder around and may not get it done. That's not true. I will get it done. I love, okay, another side note. For me, personally, I know I've said this before, and I know people would agree with me, that if I had to pick between sunny days and rainy days, I would 100% pick rainy days, and in fact, if there are too many sunny days in a row, I kind of get sad. There's been no rainy days, and I really love thunderstorms. Especially when it's cold, when it gets colder and there are thunderstorms, it's just like, oh, I love this so much. So I love it when it's rainy. And technically the sun is out, but there's thunder coming from somewhere. I also like watching clouds develop and watching the big storm clouds develop. I think that's really fun. So yeah, fun fact about me. I like the weather. I find it fascinating, and I'm terrified of tornadoes. Fun fact. So let's talk about this knit along real quick. This is, so if you have not seen the past couple of episodes, you may not be aware that my sister has started knitting again, which is very exciting. We knit a hat together. My mom and I, we knit the Barley hat by Tin Can Knits, and it was wonderful. And so we have planned many knit-alongs to do together. Some we have yarn for, some we don't. And one of them that we have just started recently is this colorwork hat, and there will be a moose. It is the moose hat. The mooses will, mooses, moosei. You know what I'm talking about. I'm just making myself laugh at this point. Anyway, there will be mooses. Whatever, we've already been through that. This purple that I have knit will be what the mooses are knit out of. I will have this accent of the fun, bright color Currently what is attached are these two Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. I don't know what their color names are. This was a deep stash dive. Like, this is old yarn. I don't know why I said it like that, but it is old yarn. This is also Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, and I believe it is charcoal heather, onyx heather. And then this little guy, the pop of color, is actually a couple of strands of Knit Picks palette held together, and it's in the Mai Tai color, which if you are a long-time viewer, you may recognize this color. I knit this in my folksy sweater pattern that I test knit for Melody of the Mandarins last year, 2 years ago. It's the navy one, and it's got the bobbles and the chevrons and all that jazz, and this was my contrast color. So I held it together for the cast on because I thought that might be cute. Why not? Way to experiment. It's good to just kind of play around. I'm using another stitch mark, one of my favorite from Jen as well. This is my pizza stitch marker. It says True Love. Makes me want pizza. But we are not having pizza for dinner. That is Friday nights. Friday nights are pizza nights. So yeah, I got this done on Friday. This was cast on and this was all I got done on Friday. And then I needed to catch up on my mystery knit along because I wasn't done with that, and then I also needed to work on the other test knit, and yeah, so I have not worked on this at all since Friday. But I do plan on getting this done this week because it's a hat and I know I can get it done. So yeah, the moose pattern, well, I don't actually know who it's by. I do apologize. Can I find that from here? I don't know. I do know that it is an email that my sister sent me. Katie, I don't remember who it. It is by Robin Fiore, and it's called the Moose Hat. And there's also different, like, sizes. There's different color work charts that you can choose from. I'm actually not technically doing the color work chart for my size, but the numbers match up for the most part, and that is my plan. But anyway, here is what they will look like. There's the mooses, so cute. And yes, this is by Robin Fiore, which this will be in the show notes. Good stash buster for sure. Would highly recommend. Looks like she also has a Shrek or ogre hat if you are interested in dressing up as Shrek for Halloween. Fun fact. It's always good. I love these kinds of things, and I have a bunch of random stuff like this saved in my queue on Ravelry, because it's like, I don't know when I would need this, but if I ever needed it, this is a wonderful thing to have. I don't know, a friend may be like, hey, I need to look like Shrek. Can you knit me a hat? And then I'll be ready to go. So yes, this is a new cast on, just plugging along. I really enjoy, ooh, excuse me. Ooh, that was a sleepy yawn. I really enjoy knitting hats because they are so small, and I don't know, I just feel like hats are very mindless for the most part, unless you have a very complicated like colorwork hat or a cabled hat or whatever. But like simple hats are very relaxing, I find, And I also feel like they're really good templates to just have fun and play around with color and different yarns and different textures and stash bust and do whatever you want. Because it doesn't really use a whole lot of yarn, and you can just play around, do whatever you want, kind of take patterns and make them your own, which I think is really fun, and it's one of the many reasons why I enjoy knitting hats. So I am looking forward to more hat knitting in the future, which is very exciting. And yeah, so everyone, I do apologize, my bangs are not really wanting to cooperate. There's always this little piece, but it's because my hair is clean, everybody. That's what happens. Oh well, I do apologize, but I don't apologize for having clean hair because that's important. So everyone, this is my West Knits Slipstravaganza Mystery Knit Along of 2020. I just started Clue 2 last night. Oh, excuse me, I keep yawning. I'm sorry if I made you yawn. It's making my nose stopped up too. Woo. So I haven't really gotten a whole lot done of Clue 2, but I did manage to finally finish Clue 1 and Section 2, the bonus clue of Clue 1, and I will now show this to you, so if you do not want to be spoiled, then look away now, look away now. Also, if you have been following the updates from Steven himself on his West Knits Instagram account, or just in general, other people have been doing this. He challenged everyone to have to a mohair dare, which is not imperative to be accepted to have a wonderful shawl, but I wasn't actually planning on doing it until I got to the section where he was like, now is the time to accept the mohair dare, and I was like, you know what? I think I will. So I did. And I kind of really love how this is turning out. I think this is definitely taking a totally different turn because of my, oh, I have stitches falling off my needles. Oh, everybody hold your breath. Okay, there we go. Whew. That was a lot of stitches that just slipped off, and it's on my I-cord edge, and that is gonna be rough, but I saved it. So this has taken a totally different turn based off of the mohair that I used, and I love it. So I will now show you Clue 1, bonus clue, and the beginning of Clue 2, but just barely anything of Clue 2. And here's what I have so far. And it looks so cool. Yes. So up here we have our honeycombs, all that jazz, and down here we have the bonus clue. We have where I added in my mohair. And you may be wondering, I don't think there's a line that is supposed to be separating. Like, why is there here? There should be like pearl bumpies there. And I would tell you, I messed up. I would also tell you, I didn't want to take it out. Because I kept messing up this section for some reason, and I was really tired of taking out mohair stitches, and so I was like, yeah, I'm not fixing that. But that's okay, you know, I think it makes it uniquely mine. So up here, the blue, my main color, is Relax It's Just Magic from Lamb String yarn. In my honeycomb section, I have Striped Stone from Hedgehog Fibers and Rose Gold of Chelsea Luxe. And then in this section, in the bonus, I have my Golden Praline, I don't know, from Uncommon Thread, and I added it's not gonna show up. It never shows up on camera. You may recognize this. This came from my test knit socks that I did for Lindsay of Lost and Fawn. That the second sock is not yet done yet, but that's okay. We're not talking about that right now. The mohair part is done. And so I love that. I think it's stunning. And if so you can see these two colors separated, this is what I held together, which is super different and very out there for sure, but I wanted that. And also, this is what I had readily available. And I was like, that would not have been my first choice, but the more I think about it, the more I need that in my life. So I went with it, and I am so glad that I did. I think it added a little bit of pizzazz and just looks super cool. So yeah, I'm excited to throw more of that mohair in clue 2 and the following clues, however it may be. I think clue 2 is quite a hefty clue. I think there's a lot of knitting, so I gotta get my Mr. Knit Along butt in gear and continue on knitting. I think once I get the hang of clue 2, hopefully this will become a knitting and reading situation, because clue 1 was for a while, which was nice. The bonus part, for some reason, like, I did a little bit, but I think that's what made me mess it up so much, is that I was just not paying attention. I thought I was paying attention, and then especially on the wrong side rows, I was just like, oh, I messed that up, I'm gonna fix it. And so I would change something, and then on the way back I realized that I had really messed up the whole thing, because what I thought was a mistake was actually the pattern. I was busy reading. So yes, this is the beloved Mystery Knit Along of 2020 so far. I am very intrigued by this. I think it'll be very fun. I also love that there are these big yarn over holes. I love that. I think that's super fun. I have not watched the video for clue 2, but I need to do that. Just the instructional video, not because I'm pretty sure I have all the techniques down, but I feel like he always throws in like interesting tidbits and just funny things in general into his videos, so I want to watch it to make sure I don't miss anything. Because he put so much work and so much effort and so much extra little bits into this whole experience that I don't want to miss out on something because I feel like I already know it. So yeah, want to do that soon. Clue 3 comes out on Friday. It's crazy that we already have clue 2, which means it's halfway through. October's almost over. What the poop? Where is time going? I feel like this is my experience. I know I feel like I've said this before. The first week and the last week of each month, the past several months, have gone by so fast, and the 2 in between have been the slowest of all time. It's like, oh my goodness, will time never end? And then we get to the last week or whatever, and it's like, oh wow, we're already halfway through November. Where did time go? Because you then have 2 weeks back to back of being fast, because you have the last week of one month and the first week of the second month, and it's like, oh my goodness, where is time going? I don't know. I don't have enough time to knit all this stuff. The clues are too big, and we said don't freak out, it'll be fine. You know, it'll be okay. I got so much knitting done this week, people. I got so much done, and I really am feeling inspired to pull out other stuff to work on now that the Mayberry sweater is done. But I also need to like finish the socks. I need to work on this test and all that jazz. So there's stuff that needs to be worked on that has to take a higher priority, but there's other stuff that I know I can pull out to work on in addition to the mystery knit along, because we gotta have some rotation. It can't all be West knits, unfortunately. So that is what I have for you guys, everyone. Did I say an extra word in there? I think I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I have said everything I need to say in regards to knitting. All the projects have been talked about. So yes, the giveaway winner, which is so wonderful, Gina Thompson, please send me your address. And I will send you this little stitch marker package to you as soon as possible. Like I said, please feel free to send me a message anywhere pretty much to give me your address, and that will be so exciting. Thank you so much. And yeah, that's all the knitting that I have to discuss. I think everything else has been discussed. I can't think of really anything else that needs to be discussed. It keeps thundering. It's really wonderful. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and you continue to have a wonderful week. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are so successful. Hope you're doing well with the mystery knit along if you are doing it. If not, I hope you were having much success with all your other projects, and whether you're working on old projects or new projects or everything in between. I don't know, but I hope that they're all successful for you. This week, I want to finish the Moosey hat, continue making progress on the Forager test knit, finish Clue 2, hopefully in a timely manner, maybe before Friday, but I don't know, and then pick out, probably start working on the socks again, and then maybe pick out another languishing whip to work on, like my O-band cardigan that needs to be finished. You know, I need to work on that so I can wear it when it gets cold. You know? Because I know, and I want to get all these things done, and I just don't have the time. Isn't that the way it always is? I also need to paint my nails. They're just not looking very happy right now. That has nothing to do with knitting. But we learned random facts about me today. That not a fan of the texture of pumpkin pie. There was one other one and I forget what it was. I don't remember what it was, but there were some others. I do remember the pumpkin pie one. Fun fact, fun fact. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me and all the ridiculousness that happened today. I hope you found it either amusing or entertaining or just fun. That is the goal. This is not a very serious podcast. I am not super serious. I like to record as if I'm having a conversation with you. So that is what my intention is in recording, and not having any notes necessarily. But yes, those are all my knitting plans, knitting projects, all that jazz. I don't know, I would like to bake some apple cider muffins because I don't have a donut tin. But I also would prefer muffins, in my opinion, because so Rhinebeck was supposed to happen this past weekend, which was so sad, and seeing everybody's pictures of like Rhinebeck's past, and I've never been, but that would be, I would love to go one day. It's up there. It would be an experience that I think when I show up, I would probably start crying because it's been on my like wanting to do list for so long. It's that special. But everyone was making apple cider items because that's like what Rhinebeck is known for, besides knitting obviously, and everything that is involved with crafting and fiber and all that stuff is the apple cider donuts, and eating them on the hill. And so I kind of want to make apple cider muffins because Christy Glass baked some apple cider donuts, and she had a very cute little donut tin rubbery thing that was really awesome. But I think I might prefer the muffins. Might do that. We do have apple cider. I'm excited. Don't know when that's happening, but I would like it to happen this week because that just sounds really tasty. You know, very tasty indeed. Anyway, I have rambled on for far too long about nothing in particular. Nothing that is imperative anyway. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening, and hopefully your laundry folding was successful. Maybe you're making dinner. I hope you got a lot of crafting done. Is your animal asleep? Is snuggling an animal? I hope you enjoyed your drink or your snack or whatever you were enjoying. And yes, I hope to have a lot of progress to show you next week, including finished Clue 2 maybe, and maybe Clue 3 started. Finished Clue 2 seems very high hopes, but we will see. We will see. Don't freak out. It'll be okay.